So today's lesson is called the binomial theorem, okay? What it does is it helps you multiply out something that is difficult to multiply out, okay? A plus b to the 0 is just equal to 1. A plus b to the first is equal to a plus b. A plus b to the second is equal to a to the second plus 2ab plus b squared. A plus b to the third is equal to a to the third plus 3a to the second b plus 3a b to the second plus b to the third. A plus b to the fourth is a to the fourth plus 4a to the third b plus 6a to the second b to the second plus 4a b to the third plus b to the fourth. Okay, now that's not something you need to know, to be able to do like that. Okay, so a lot of this lesson has to do with patterns. Okay, so I want you to look at what a plus b to the first is. Then I want you to look at a plus b to the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. And I need somebody to recognize some patterns, okay? And specifically, I'm talking about, like, look at the A's and what they're doing in one line. Look at the B's and what they're doing. Next line, what's happening to the A's, what's happening to the B's. Does anybody notice anything? Go ahead, Abigail.
The first value is like squared or cubed or squared to the what would be the power to the fourth?
Just to the fourth, yep. So she's noticing that this A is to that exponent. Then this A is to that exponent. And then that A is to that exponent. Good. And then what happens to the next one? Look at the next one. Everybody has to understand this. So look, what happens to the A on the next term? This guy's squared, and what happens right there? Goes down by 1. And what happens to the next one? Goes down by 1 again, which means it went away. Look at the B's. What's happening to the B's? Do they start small or do they start big? They start small, and then they go up by 1, up by 1, up by 1. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at the A's. 3, then 2, then 1, and then none. Right? Look at the B's. None, then 1, then 2, then 3. Look at this one. A's start high. The first term starts high. So this is 4, 3, 2, 1, none. The second term starts low. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you stop when you get to that guy right there. Who says, I understand that? Let me see. Okay, great. Okay, we're going to write Pascal's triangle right now. Pascal's triangle is the easy way to solve these problems, okay? But there's some problems where we can't use Pascal's, okay? So everybody put a 1 at the very tippy top. Underneath that, go 1 and 1. Underneath that, go 1. And now look what you do. See this 1 and 1? Write really small when you do this, by the way. Right in the middle of those, add 1 and 1 together and you get a 2, and then end it with a 1. Then do the same thing again. So start with a 1. 2 plus 1 is a 3. So right in that little window you put a 3. 2 plus 1 is a 3, and then you have a 1. Next one, 1, you tell me what to put. Talk to me. 4, 6, 4, and 1. Next one. We're going to go for quite a while, so keep writing. 1. What's this, guys? 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, and 1. 1, 7, 21, 35, 35, 21, 7, and 1. I think I have to go further. 1, 8, 28, 56, 70, 56, 28, 8, and 1. 2 more lines, I think, is what we have to do. 1, 9, 36, 84, 126, then it starts repeating. 126, 84, 36, 9, and 1. One more. 1, 10, 45, 120, 210, 252, then it starts repeating. 210, 120, 45, 10, and 1. We could sit and do this all day. It's easy, right? Okay, this is super important. The very top row is row 0. The row underneath that is row 1, and then row 2, and then row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, row 9, and row 10. Okay? Now, look at the problems that we just did. See this right here? See this a plus b to the first? You go to row 1, and do you see how I have a 1 and a 1? Those are these coefficients right there, 1 and 1. See how you have a squared? In row 2, coefficients are 1, 2, 1. Look at row 3, 1, 3, 3, 1. Row 4, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. You could, whatever that number is, you just find the right row. Who says I understand that? Let me see. Okay, great. Let's come right here. Okay, so it looks like, let me look at your notes. Is the next thing you see right there? Oh, that's weird. There's stuff. Oh no, it's coming up. It's coming up. So I want to jump right here. I want to do one using Pascal's. Okay, so look at the 5. That means you look at row 5. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Okay, is what we're looking at. So I want you to go 1, leave some room, plus 5, leave some room, plus 10, is that right? 10. And then do I have another 10? 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. 10, 10. 5, and then 1. Okay? A start high. So this A is to the 5th, and then to the 4th, and then to the 3rd, and then to the 2nd, and then to the 1st, and then there's no A. B starts small, so no B, then 1B, then 2 B's, and then 3 B's, and then 4 B's, and then 5 B's, and literally, I'm done. Can you imagine how long it would take us to write a plus b times a plus b times a plus b times a plus b times a plus b, foil these two guys, still have one left, distribute them all out, it's going to take forever, and you'll end up at that. Okay, so it saves so much time. Okay, now I need to make something very clear to you. Okay, you're going to want to listen. The only time I would ever use Pascal's is if they asked me to fully expand something like that. Honestly, I really don't think I would use Pascal's on my homework because you need to practice using the formula, because the one that I highlighted that I think is going to be on the final involves the formula. Okay, so let's come back over here. Here is one formula that you have to have memorized. Okay, now I think we might have a small problem. Grab the formula sheet. Can I see that formula sheet right there? I don't know if I put this formula on your formula sheet. I don't think I did. Oh, I did. Not really. Okay. 2 pages on your formula sheet. Second page, front side, it says binomial theorem, okay? So I want you to just keep an eye right there at that. And I really think you better add in there, in that box somewhere, that highlighted stuff right there. So what I'm showing you right now is leading you up to the method that you're going to have to use, okay? Okay, so this right here, what you have is you have a 3 and then a 1. So you just apply it to this formula. So if the top number's an n, in this example, my top number's a 3, so it's just 3 factorial. Then you want to keep that formula sheet out because we're going to have to add more to it, okay? And then do you see how the bottom's a j? So whatever's on the bottom right here is a 1 factorial. And then also is n minus j factorial. When on this, it'd be 3 minus 1, which is 2 factorial. Well, that's equal to 3. I can tell by looking at it. The reason it's equal to 3 is this. You can do it in your head. 3, 2, 1. 1 factorial is a 1. 2 times 1 is 2 times 1. Those all cancel. My answer is 3. Okay? Okay, let's do this one right here. We have to evaluate this. So this is 4 factorial divided by the bottom number, which is 2 factorial, multiplied by 4 minus 2, which is 2 factorial. Okay? Now grab your calculator. You know, there's so many different ways you can put this in. Let's go 4 PRB, right, enter, divided by parenthesis. What is 2 factorial equal to? It's 2 times 1, which is 2, right? So you've got 2 times 2, which is a 4. I'm just going to say divided by 4. And that gives me a 6. That's it. Okay, let's do the next one. Top number, 8 factorial, divided by the bottom number, 7 factorial, multiplied by 8 minus 7, which is 1 factorial. Can you tell me what that's equal to in your head?
8.
That's equal to 8. Yeah. Okay, if you can't figure that out, then you can put it in your calculator. Okay. Okay, binomial theorem is right here. Now, is that on your formula sheet? This is super important right here. Is that on your formula sheet in that box?
No.
You don't see it? Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, that's actually the end is. So this part's there, but this part is not. So maybe just to the left of that, just put in a plus b to the n power. Okay, so just make it complete over there. The reason it's not there is because I have not been using this method. So I removed it and then I didn't add it back on. Yeah.
The n is right below the triangle.
Yeah, it's all one thing though, so I'd love it if you could write it like that. Okay. All right. Now, look at example 1. I'm going to have you do it using 2 methods. So the one that we just did was so easy, it was Pascal's triangle. Maybe off beside it, write Pascal's so that you know. And now what I want to do is just kind of do like this squiggly line, okay? And now let's write binomial theorem. Binomial theorem is what you need to know, okay? I'm going to go nice and slowly, okay? You're going to be amazed how much work this is compared to what we just did. I mean, we got that answer right there. How long did it take us? A minute, right? This is going to be much more involved. That's why I turned. I'm like, I want to do Pascal's. Can I do Pascal's? And they were like, yeah. And then now the way that they ask the question, you can't really do Pascal's. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do it. Everybody stay calm. Okay. Do you see how this is a 5 right there? Okay. So first you go 5 combination 0. Leave some room. Plus. Then you go 5 combination 1. Leave some room. Plus 5 combination 2. Plus 5 combination 3. Plus 5 combination 4. Plus 5 combination 5. Okay. The A starts big. So it's A to the 5th. A to the 4th. A to the 3rd. a to the second, a to the first, no way. B starts small, none, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Okay, now, two seconds. Okay. To evaluate this, I'm going to have you write it out on this one, and on the remaining ones, we're not going to write it out. Okay, so this term right here, I just want to make sure everybody understands. This right here, now you use that other that factorial formula. So you go 5 factorial divided by 0 factorial. 5 minus 0 is 5 factorial, a to the 5th. Do the next one. That's 5 factorial divided by 1 factorial. 5 minus 1 is 4 factorial, a to the 4th b. Do the next one. 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial. 5 minus 2 is 3 factorial, a to the 3rd, b to the 2nd. Plus 5 factorial divided by 3 factorial. 5 minus 3 is 2 factorial. Just answer me out loud. Are you following me? Yes or no? Give me a big yes or a big no. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. Remember this right here? Go back to this. Okay, be quiet, please. Go back to this. I went 3 factorial divided by 1 factorial. 3 minus 1 is 2 factorial. So I'm just doing that again. Okay, so I was on this guy. 5 factorial divided by that number right there, 3 factorial. 5 minus 3 is 2 factorial. Then you have a to the 2nd, b to the 3rd. Do the next one. Give me a second. 5 factorial divided by bottom number is 4 factorial. 5 minus 4 is 1 factorial. A, b to the 4th. Do the last one. 5 factorial divided by, what do I put on the bottom? First thing, so I can see if you understand. 5 factorial times, tell me, 0 factorial, and that's b to the 5th. Okay, now, I don't think this is going to be on there. Now when you, sorry, we're kind of squishy right here. This 5 factorial divided by 0 factorial times 5 factorial, I can tell that's just going to be a 1 so, by looking at it. I can look at that, me personally, and I know that that's going to give me a 5. The 4, 3, 2, 1 on the top cancels with the 4 factorial on the bottom, so that's going to be gone, and it looks like that. This one is not as easy. Now I'm going to show you a trick. See all that factorial business that I'm writing down? You wouldn't even have to write this down if it were on the final. And I don't think it's going to be on the final. See this right here, this 5 combination 2? There's actually a button that takes you directly to the answer. So I want to show you the button. Everybody hit 5. Then hit PRB. And then go to the right. So right now that cursor is on NCR. Okay, hit enter. And then put in a 2. Then hit enter. And that's what it's equal to. So that's a 10. A to the 3rd, B to the 2nd. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Look at this one right here. 5 combination 3. Everybody go 5, PRB, right, enter, 3, enter, and I get another 10. So we don't have to write down all that factorial business. This one right here, I'm not going to push that C button. I can look at that and I can tell that it's a 5. Right? This one right here, I'm not going to push that button. I can look at it and tell that it's a 1. That's my answer, and I'm done. Okay. Now, it's not going to be that bad. Okay, let's do the next problem. 2x minus 3. Okay, so it's 2x minus 3 to the 4th power. I am not going to use Pascal's. I'm just going to use the tough way because I know that's what you're going to have to do. Okay? Okay, do you see how that big exponent, I'm sorry, everybody freeze. Question.
Will the numbers in the combination ever affect the A and the B? Does that make sense?
Can I wait and answer your question in a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you, and then I think once we get it a little more heavy into this, then you're going to be like, okay, I gotcha. Okay, okay, see that a big exponent's a 4? So I'm going to start with 4, 0. Then I'm going to do 4, 1. Then I'm going to do 4, 2. Then I'm going to do 4, 3. And then I'm going to do 4, 4. Now, here's where people mess up right here. To see how my first term is a 2x, I have to put that in parentheses. So everybody go 2x, 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 like that, 4 times. The first term starts high, so the 2x is to the 4th, then it's to the 3rd, then it's to the 2nd, and then it's to the 1st. Everybody freeze. What is the difference between this and this? They are very different.
The whole 2x is being
What's this equal to? Tell me that.
8.
That's 8x to the 4th. This is 2x to the 4th. So on this guy, the whole thing is to the 4th, which is what you're supposed to do. So without a doubt, period, the biggest mess up, people don't put parentheses. Okay? Okay, let's do the -3. None. Then 1. And then 2. And then 3. And then 4. Okay, now I'm going to find this right here. I'm going to try to do it in one step of my calculator. Okay, so everybody grab your calculator and be ready. Okay, everybody go 4, PRB, right, enter, 0, enter. And then go times, parenthesis, 2, close it, raise it to the 4th. Hit enter, and I got a 16. It's also a 16x to the 4th. Okay, let's do the next one. 4, PRB, right, enter, 1, enter. Now I'm going to go times, parenthesis, 2, close it off, raise it to the 3rd, parenthesis, -3, close it, enter, and I get -96. And that would be an x to the 3rd. Now I'm on this guy. Okay, look what I'm doing. I'm doing this pink one right here. You have to put parentheses around those things. Okay, so everybody go 4, PRB, right, enter, 2, enter, times parenthesis, 2, close it, x squared, parenthesis, -3, close it, x squared, hit enter, and I get a positive 216, and that's going to be x to the 2nd. Raise your hand if you're with me. Raise your hand. Okay, good. We're almost to what we're going to actually have to do on the final. Okay, now I'm doing that yellow one. Okay, 4, PRB, right, enter, 3, enter, times parenthesis, -2, parenthesis, -3, close it, raise it to the 3rd, hit enter, and I get a -216. And with that -216 goes an x to the 1st. Now I'm doing the last guy, which is right here. So I'm going to go 4, PRB, right, enter, 4, enter, times parenthesis, -3, close it off, raise it to the 4th, hit enter, and I get plus 81, and I'm done. If you have a problem on your homework that says to expand fully, that is how I would do it. I would not use Pascal's. Could you do this using Pascal's? Yes. It's not going to help you on your final. Okay, I want you to do that method. Okay, here's what it's going to start looking like. Okay, find the coefficient of the x to the 5th in this expansion. Okay, everybody write this down. Write down a plus b to the n is equal to a combination j. Actually, that's an n combination j. And then your a is raised to the n minus j, and your b is raised to the j. You have to have that memorized. Okay? So, Just sit back and listen for a second, okay? My biggest exponent's an 8. Just watch. Actually, why don't we write this out so it's in your notes, okay? Everybody go 8, 0. And then go plus. And then go 8, 1. And then go plus. And then 8, 2. And then go plus. And then 8, 3. And then go plus. Now, freeze right there. I could keep going. If I was expanding the whole thing, I would go to 8, 8. Okay? But that's not what they're asking. They're looking for just one term. There are 9 terms in this expansion. They want us to focus on just one. So see this X? Start big. So this one's big. Then you go, oh sorry, that should be 8. Okay, so it's the biggest exponent, 8. Then a 7. And then a 6. And then a 5. So this is the guy I'm looking at. Because it's the expansion of the x to the 5th. Okay? A couple of different ways you can do this. I'm going to just kind of write it out like this. The 2 starts small. So no 2. Then 1 2. And then 2 2s. And then 3 2s. So your setup for that term is 8 combination 3 multiplied by x to the 5th multiplied by 2 to the 3rd. Okay, let's get the answer, and then I'm going to say one more thing. Okay, everybody hit 8, PRB, right, enter, 3, enter. The x to the 5th is not going to change the number. The 2 to the 3rd is going to change this number. So I'm going to go times 2 to the 3rd, hit enter, and the entire term is 448x to the 5th. Who says, I'm with you? Give me feedback. Okay. They don't want the whole term. They want the coefficient. What is a coefficient? It's the number in front. So that would be 448, and that's my answer. That is one way to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Look at this. See if you can understand this. Just watch, kick back and watch. Okay. This number right here is an 8. So I know that this is going to be an 8. Okay. It's kind of like you have to fill in all the pieces. Okay. Everybody watch. The first thing in my expansion right there is an x. The second thing is a 2. Now watch. I want the x to be to the 5th. That 5 is supposed to be n minus j. Here's my n. My j goes right here. So 8 minus what gives me 5? Can anybody tell me that? It's a 3. So I know it's a 10 combination or 8 combination 3. And then this b is supposed to be raised to that exponent. Well, my 2 would then be raised to the 3rd. That's exactly what I got right there. But it was out without writing the whole thing out. Okay, so for this guy right here, I'm going to try to just do that step and see if everybody follows me. Okay, here we go. Find the 5th term. Now this one's a little different. Okay, here's what you have to know. I am going to write out a little so that you understand. The first term is 10, 0. 10, 0. That's the first term. The second term is 10, 1. The third term is 10, 2. I could write the 4th and the 5th, but here's what I need you to know. Look, the 5th term, if the first term has a 0 at the bottom, the second term has a 1, the third term has a 2, then the 5th term is going to have a what, everybody?
4.
A 4. Okay. Could I have continued to write this out? Yeah, but what if the number was like 27? You know what I mean? Then I'm going to be writing 1,000 things. So it'd be nice if I could just figure it out. Okay. So the 5th term is going to be 10, 4. Okay. In parentheses, that's the number one mistake people make. In parentheses, put your 2y, and in parentheses, put your 3. Can anybody tell me what is the exponent of the 2y? Can you tell me? It is not a 5. It is a, remember it's supposed to be 10 minus 4, 6. And somebody tell me the exponent of the 3. It is a 4. Yep. One time they asked my students to set up finding the solution, finding the term. That would be your answer. If they ask you to find it, then let's find it. Grab your calculator. Okay. Everybody go 10. PRB, right, enter, 4, enter. Then I'm going to hit times, parenthesis, 2 to the 2, parenthesis 2, close it, to the 6th, parenthesis 3, close it, to the 4th, and hit enter. Okay, I get 1,088,640. Now, do they want the coefficient or do they want the y to go with it? They want the y. If they just wanted the number, it would say coefficient. So then it's going to be y to the 6th, and that's your answer. Okay, go ahead.
Did you get that to the 4th from the combination?
Yeah, so look at your formula. It's n combination j, a to the n minus j, b to the j. So once I knew it was 10, 4, then to get this guy, I go 10 minus 4 is 6. To get that guy, I look right there. So it's just like this little puzzle. We used to have to fill in all the pieces. Okay, find the 6th term. Let's see if we can do straight to the setup. Okay, if you can't, it's okay. Let's try to go straight to the setup. Every person in the room, tell me the top number that's going to go right there. It's going to be a 9. It's going to match that one right there. Now, let's put the 1 in parentheses, and let's put the negative 3a to the 2nd in parentheses. The first term is going to be 9, 0. Second term, 9, 1. Third term, 9, 2. So the 6th term would then be 9, 5. Yes. Now, someone tell me, or everybody that can, what is my exponent of my 1? 9 minus 5 is 4. Yes. What's the exponent of the other guy? A 5. This is easy. Isn't it? Just takes a minute for it to click, right? Okay, let's do it. If the off to the side right setup, I kind of think that last year they may have said the setup. You guys could look at it and find it because now you've got the final in your hands, right? Everybody go 9 PRB, right? Enter, 4, enter. Do I need to worry about multiplying it by 1 to the 4th? No. So I'm going to go times parenthesis, negative 3, close it, raise it to the 5th, hit enter, and I get negative 30,618. Do they want the A in the answer? Yes, they do. That's going to be an A to the, it is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. That's your answer. Okay. Okay, question D. Find the 4th term in the expansion. Okay, let's do our setup right here. Every person in this room, tell me the top number. It is a 6. Right now, in parentheses, put your 4x squared and your negative 1. Okay. The first term is 6, 0. The second term is 6, 1. The 4th term is going to be 6, 3. If you get confused, like what's that bottom number supposed to be? You know what I would do? Look at this. Who cares if I do this? First term, second term, third term, 4th term, that's my guy. Write it out. Who cares? Okay, I just want you to get it right. Yes?
Can we also find the bottom number? Just take the term that we want is 4 and then minus 1.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're saying.
So, like on the fraction,
Yeah.
6 over 3, you couldn't do like j minus 1.
Yeah, that's what we did to get that 3. I knew the first one was 6, 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, so I knew it was going to be 6, 3, which is the 4th term minus 1. Yeah. Okay, so everybody tell me the exponents of the 4x to the 2nd that you have in parentheses.
3.
It's a 3, because 6 minus 3 is 3. Tell me this one right here. 3. Okay, now that's your setup. Everybody go 6 PRB, right? Enter, 3, enter, times parenthesis, 4, close it, raise it to the 3rd. Do I need to worry about the negative 1 to the 3rd? Yes, I do. Parenthesis, negative 1, close it, raise it to the 3rd, hit enter, and I get negative 1,280. Bless you. Do they want the x with it? Yes, they do, because it says, what word tells you to put the x in there? Term versus coefficient. Yep. So this is x to the, tell me, 6. 2 times 3 is 6. There's your answer. Okay. Freeze right here and let me show you something. Freeze right here. Number 1 mistake. I'm telling you, I can look at a problem and I can be like, bam, that's the place you're going to mess up if you're going to mess up. So everybody watch. Look at this. This is a 20. They take 20 and multiply it by 4 and get negative 80 x to the third. Biggest mistake. What did they do wrong? They didn't cube the 4. The whole thing of this, you know, squared or whatever that is. You get the idea. They didn't cube that 4. Okay? Okay. The last question. Now, I just would like to say something right here for a moment. For some of you, this is the last math class that you will ever have to take.
Yeah.
In your life. In your life. What determines whether or not this is the last math class you're ever going to have to take? What you go into. Is anybody going into nursing? This is the last example of the last lesson of the last math class you will ever have to take in your life. I know nursing is done. If you're business, I bet a lot of your business, you're not done. Sorry, you're not done. You have to take business calc, business stats. There's lots of business math.
For nursing, you still have to take stats.
You have to take a test? Well, you'll be fine, honey. Oh, you do?
Yeah, you have to take stats if you want to go into medical now. It's required.
What college do you have to take stats at? Utah State. Weber, you don't. If you're going into nursing at Weber, I know you're done. Because my very good friend got her degree late in life, and at 10:50 she was done. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. This might be who says, I think this is the last example for me for the rest of my life. Okay, here we go. You 6 people. This is a big moment. Here we go. This is kind of tricky, and this is the one that was on the final. Okay, so if I were you, I would focus, and I would watch. Okay, here we go. Tell me the number that goes here at the top. That is a 5. Watch closely, because that's a 5 right there. Okay, in parentheses, please be quiet. In parentheses, put a 1. In parentheses, put a negative 5m squared. Okay? They want the m to be to the 4th, to the 8th. I messed it up. The answer to what I'm trying to say came out before I wanted it to. So what do I need to put here? That's a 4. Because 2 times 4 is 8, and that's what I want. So if that's a 4, then what's this guy right here?
4.
That's a 4. And if that's a 4, then what's the exponent on my 1? It is a 1. There's your setup. Okay? So it's just this little puzzle where you have to figure everything out. Okay? There's your setup. Here we go. Do I really need to hit the PRB button to do 5 combination 4? Maybe to be sure if it's on your final.
I'm going to, regardless.
It's on the final, hit it. It's a 5. It's 5 factorial divided by 4 factorial times 1 factorial. That's a 5. Okay, so I'm going to go 5. I don't need to worry about the 1. I do need to worry about the negative 5. Let me do it the right way because, you know, you guys all want to hit the button, and I think you probably should. 5 PRB, right, enter, 4, enter. Times parenthesis, negative 5, close it off, raise it to the 4, hit enter, and you get 3,125. Do they want the m?
Yes.
Yes, they do, because it says term and not coefficient. So this would be m to the, tell me, 8th. We're done, baby.
Let's go.
We're done. We're done.